Hello, my name is Pat Mayrhofer, and I'm president and founder of Nature Stones Incorporated. I'm here today at Oakworks to share with you some important facts about using stones in stone massage. One of the things that I would like to talk to you about is how to hold the stones. Some people think that you grip the stones and hold onto them tight, but actually you're much better if you hold the stones in your palm and work with them that way. And you can slide the stone as you're working to your fingertips or slide them back into the palm of your hand. You can also use your fingers as well, which I will demonstrate in a moment. With the pressure with the stones, it is very important for you to use a sufficient amount of pressure as you are working. Some people feel that when the stones are too hot, they're going to go very easy on the skin because they don't want to burn their client, when actually that's the worst thing they can do. The nerve endings are right at the top of your skin. So when the stones are really hot and you go very light on them, that's when the client will jump and that's when they will get burned. But if you go past those nerve endings and really push into the muscle and into the tissue itself, then the body accepts the heat from the stone very nicely. So what I would like to do is to demonstrate a few different techniques that you can do with stones. One of them that I would like to introduce to you today is myofascial release. When you do myofascial release, you sink in with your hands and you wait for the tissue to give. And you could sit there and you could wait and wait and wait and wait until you're ready to fall asleep. But when you're using the stones and you sink in, you use warm stones, you don't use hot ones, because you never place a hot stone on bare skin without moving it. But I feel the tissue giving right away. As soon as you go in with warm stones, the tissue does give immediately. And any time that you do therapeutic work, you want to use little to no lubricant whatsoever. So that's doing myofascial release with stones. The other thing that I would like to do is to show you some trigger point release with stones as well. There are two different ways to do trigger point release. You can begin, and when you work with the stones for a while, after a while you can actually feel through the stones themselves. I have no lubricant on here. So you can go through, you can find a trigger point, and you can hold it there and just wait for you wait 7 to 10 seconds for the trigger point to release. And then you can move on to the next trigger point and have that release as well. But you can feel through the stones. The other way to do trigger point release is you find your trigger point, you place the stone on its edge, and with the other stone, you tap on top of it. That helps to just disperse the trigger point. It's amazing how it works and how well it works. You can also slide down, and as you're going, and that helps to release a lot of things. You can use that in any area on the body. It works exceptionally well on top of the scapula so that you can release trigger points in there. Again, you take the stone, you put it on its edge, and you tap it with the other stone. And you do that by holding it with your thumb and your forefinger and a loose wrist. And that helps to release trigger points. The next thing that I would like to show you is an introductory stroke. When you're doing regular full body massage, you want to make sure that you use a sufficient amount of lubrication. You should use oil rather than creams or lotions, and you should make sure that you use a light oil, nothing that is heavy. Many people love jojoba oil, which is wonderful to work with, but it's entirely too heavy to use with the stones. When you're doing an introductory stroke, you always want to begin with the back of your hands. So it's down and back. You turn the stones over, and with pressure, on the back especially, you do a few short passes down to the scapula, and then all the way down and around, and that is an introductory stroke. You always want to use the back of your hands first because that sets up a signal in the client's brain that they know that you're coming with a hot stone. So every time that you come with a hot stone, you use an introductory stroke. Again, you always use the back of your hands first. The back of the hands go down, come back up, you turn the stones over, and immediately with pressure, you begin your massage. When you're using cold stones, the marble stones are just the opposite. And because they're cold, you want to ask the client, please take a deep breath. And as they exhale, you place the stones on them and allow the body to accept the cold from the stones. And then you start off moving very slowly so that the body can accept them. So the introductory stroke between the marble and the basalt is entirely different. With the basalt stones, you want to make sure that you keep them moving, and with the marble stones, you want to place them there and then move very slowly and just allow the client to accept it. When you're handling the massage stones, you want to make sure that you palm the stones. So you do an introductory stroke. And then you massage just as if you would with your hands. As long as you have the stones in there, your client won't know if you're using the stones or if you're just using your hands. And it's perfectly okay for you to use your fingers as well. You just want to make sure that you have a sufficient amount of pressure on there. And remember good body mechanics as you're working because the client can certainly feel the difference. You want to dance around the body. Thank you very much. For more information on stone massage, please go to our website, www.naturestonesinc.com. Thank you.